You can't receive with closed fists, and you can't evolve while still gripping who you once were. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Lilah experience. As we move towards the end of the year and the energetic closing of the year of the snake, I've been reflecting on how nature invites us to shed. Just like the snake, we release the old skin, the parts of us that have become too tight to grow in. This is that in-between season, not quite the new beginning yet, but the space between identities where the real alchemy happens. Today we're talking about letting go and feeling enough, how neuroscience, ancient wisdom, and energetic alignment all point to one truth. You can't step into your next chapter if your hands and your heart are still full of the last one. Oof. I know everyone can relate to this because we are constantly changing, and change is incredibly uncomfortable. Our brains are wired for safety, not happiness. Even when something is painful, a job, a relationship, a pattern, it's familiar. The amygdala, our brain's emotional alarm system, interprets change as danger. That's why it's so difficult for us. It's against our nervous system. This is why letting go feels like loss. Your brain is literally trying to keep you safe from the unknown. I experienced this. I'm sure I've talked about it a lot in the past couple years, but say before moving to London, it was incredibly difficult to let go of this old life and chapter. Even though I was so ready for the new one, it was still discomfort. And I'm here now back in Vancouver for a short little visit, seeing how interesting it is to be home, to be grateful, to miss it, but also know that just a few years ago, I was in the exact same spot, thinking I'm so ready to go, even though knowing I will miss it and I don't want to let go. But the thing is, it's always still there for you. Just a version of yourself changes. But there's always still access to every version of yourself. If you want to go backwards, you can, but you don't need to. Neuroscientist Dr. Joe Dispenza, love him, talks about this in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, how our emotional addictions to familiar feelings, even stress or sadness, keeps us repeating the same stories. We repeat what we don't repair. I noticed this years ago within myself, addiction to feelings. And I was addicted to the feeling of overwhelm. Because I wondered, after years of just feeling so overwhelmed, it's like, okay, how come I'm still in this? How come I haven't let go? Like, just how come it's always there? And I realized, oh, I'm addicted to that because some part of me thinks that that is productive. It means I'm doing something if I'm overwhelmed. If I'm underwhelmed, oh my God, I'm not doing enough. And that felt worse to me. I'd rather feel overwhelmed. Then I heard something a long time ago, and it was so insightful. It's been a while, but basically the speaker said, if somebody asked you to murder someone, what would you say? Oh, not today. I'm busy, or oh, I'm feeling pretty good today. I don't know about that. Or you'd most likely go, oh, I don't do murder. It's just as simply, I don't do that. It's not up for debate. So then she said, why don't you substitute murder with whatever emotion you experience most often? For me, it was overwhelm. I thought, I don't do overwhelm. It wasn't up for debate, where it used to be up for debate, and then often it would always win. It was simply, I don't do overwhelm. I'm not going to debate today or tomorrow. I don't do that. I don't do murder. It's not a question. I don't do overwhelm. That actually changed my life because, and even the last 2 years now, it's been quite bizarre to be like, am I still doing enough if I'm not overwhelmed? This is new for me. And I've been experimenting and trying to hold that, say when it gets busy around our Vancouver for me, I always thought overwhelm worked for me and it made me do everything. So for the last couple of years, I've been experimenting. Can I still be just as productive without feeling overwhelmed? Can I maintain this efficiency in a state of peace and ease And I think I've been doing it. I mean, the job gets done. I think it's been okay, and I'm not getting gray hairs because of it. So ask yourself, what is the emotion that you feel most often? Perhaps the negative, not negative, every emotion is whatever it is, but one that you just don't need to experience anymore, or at least on a regular basis. And start to train your brain and say, I don't do anxiety. I don't do it. It doesn't exist for me. It's not up for debate. It doesn't happen. I don't know. Sadness is a bit different. I think sadness can be quite insightful sometimes, as long as you're aware that it doesn't control your life. When was the last time you held on to something because it was familiar, not because it was right? What would happen if you trusted that letting go is actually a form of expansion? Oh, I freaking love letting go. Clothes, I'm really good at it. Not really, but I've practiced a lot in not getting rid. I try not to think of it like that, but I think release it and gift it to somebody else who could use it or transform it. Old shirts, I actually keep all my old shirts because I like to sew and experiment and put things together. But the kind of okay clothes, or really still quite new clothes, I'll gift it. I'll either think of friends that I can give it to that would enjoy it, so that it's not just sitting in the closet and it can actually be worn and appreciated, or give it to Goodwill, charity, whatever it might be. And my mom, that's probably why clothes are so easy for me to let go, because my mom would always say, just like clear out what you don't wear, because then it makes room for the new. So I'd always be actively being like, what can I get rid of? What can I get rid of so I can make space for new clothes? And it's so much fun, but bring that over to every other aspect in your life. It's so freeing being open. A spiritual layer here, the Tao Te Ching says, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. In the year of the snake, this is the teaching, transformation through surrender. So we've got 5 weeks left of the year of the snake. I didn't really know it was the year of the snake until I looked it up just a couple of weeks ago. And it has been, I felt so much more aligned, which I intuitively have been doing this whole year, is kind of letting go of old skin. I thought, oh, this makes sense. I'm aligned with the year of the snake, which we all are in some way, shape, or form, however that is for you. But next year is the year of the horse. How exciting. This year is number 9. Next year is number 1. And I know it's always like, oh, next year's our year. But this energetically is so different because it actually is a new beginning. It's a horse and it's number 1. So it's starting fresh and it's galloping. So take this time now not to gallop. Don't work against nature and ancient wisdom. Work with it. Go inside, shed as much skin as possible. It's uncomfortable because then you have fresh skin and bare skin, and it doesn't have any calluses yet. But think about a little baby. It's so beautiful and soft and fresh. Okay, I want to talk about what happens after the letting go. When you finally stop gripping what's gone, what's left is space. And it can be uncomfortable if you're not used to that. That space can feel scary if you don't believe you alone are enough. From a neuroscience perspective, the dopamine reward system links achievement to self-worth. Every win gives us a dopamine hit, but like any substance, the tolerance builds. You need more success to feel worthy. It's a little high achievers. Dr. Andrew Huberman calls this the reward prediction error. The brain anticipates the next high, but the satisfaction never lasts. We've heard this before. So many people have talked, at least I have. I mean, this is what I research all the time or listen to. You can't heal your worth through performance. For how long do you feel good after you achieve something? Not very long. And this little high performer has come to understand that it's not about what you do, it's about who you are. So, and that's what I did this past year, is let go of all of my goals, even though that was incredibly uncomfortable. Goals are like who I am. But I just wanted to make sure I was aligned with my higher purpose, and I wasn't striving, saying just a non-aligned direction. I wanted to make sure that I wanted to give some space in order to then think clearly and see what emerges again. Then I know, okay, that's the way to go about it, or not, or whatever it might be. But it's very uncomfortable when you sit in a space of unknown. But then what emerges is just clarity. And that is beautiful when you have absolute clarity. But the thing is, it's always changing. We are always changing every chapter, no matter what you figure out what you want to do with your life. Okay, cool. What about when you're retired? There's always going to be a new chapter when you're doing something different. I wanted to ask you, who taught you that being still wasn't productive? When did you start believing that your value depended on output? From a spiritual lens, the Bhagavad Gita, reminds us, you have the right to work, but never to the fruit of work. Worth isn't earned, it's remembered. Reflection here, if you'd like. Place your hand on your heart and breathe. I am enough, not because I did enough, but because I am. If you're listening to this, you likely already have a pretty deep belief system that you need to do in order to be enough, because I feel the same. And I think it could be a generational thing, or just, I think our generation is changing it. I've been conscious of this belief system for years, and it is still incredibly challenging to shift. But the number one is to become aware of your actual belief system. However, I will say, fake it till you make it. Keep rewiring your belief systems, and one day it will be true. A few weeks ago, I was having a conversation with some friends about trusting the universe, and I said I faked it quite literally till I made it. There was a long period of myself telling myself I trust the universe, but there was still a very small part of me that didn't fully surrender to that belief. But I just keep brainwashing myself. Now I can truthfully say every part of my being completely trusts the universe, although it did take years. And both friends were like, me too. You know, we're all three of us were kind of in that spiritual world, but using tools and habits to help efficiency and productivity and whatever it might be, but also trusting the universe. And we all really aligned with that statement of, it's like we've been telling ourselves for years, trust the universe. And you do, but there's still a part of you that's like, I don't fully trust it, but like I'll keep pretending and hopefully it all works out. And now it's like, we just wholeheartedly trust the universe. I gave that story because I wanted you to keep telling yourself you are enough just as you are, and eventually every part of your being will believe it to be true. It might take time, but keep brainwashing yourself that, because eventually you will believe it. And it's weird at the beginning because you feel like you're not doing enough, but you actually don't need to do. We've heard it before. That's why it's like we've heard it. We're human beings, not human doings, but it's still difficult because you do need to do. That's what this life is about. But just know that your worth isn't dependent upon what you do. You're still a beautiful soul. So here's where we bridge science and spirit. Our bodies process emotion somatically, meaning energy gets stored as tension, tightness, fatigue. Letting go isn't just a mindset, it's a nervous system practice. Somebody told me yesterday, their knee hurt, I think, to help them slow down. And I said, 100%. That's why I think I developed anaphylaxis to exercise when I was younger, because the universe was saying, stop working out. I developed exercise-induced anaphylaxis. How insane is that for me, right? But it's not a coincidence. It's because if I could, I would be doing exercise all day, every day. But then my body said, no, you can't. You have to eat and you have to rest, and you can only do X amount of hours of exercise a day. Anyway, so I've been working with that. Now I tell myself it doesn't exist for me anymore, because I've learned that lesson. I've learned the balance of it. And so far, so good. Everything's safe and sound. On a neuroscience note, the default mode network, the brain's self-referential loop, is quiet during ritual, meditation, and and intentional breath work. This helps integrate closure and calm. So a few ritual ideas: letter burning ceremony. Write a letter to your old self, the one who hustled for worth, who tried to control everything. Thank them for how they protected you, then burn or tear it with love. Our bodies we're always protecting ourselves, but sometimes that works against us. Breath release, inhale clarity, exhale attachment. This I have intuitively been doing in the ocean for years now. I would inhale deeply as the wave came in, just as a breath of fresh air, and then exhaling what no longer serves me, and I'd let it all go. With each wave that would come in, I would just do it, think about it as kind of spring cleaning in my body energetically. Science shows long exhales activate the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's safety signal. Do it with me. Energy clearing walk, go outside, set the intention. With every step, I release what's no longer mine to carry. In Ayurveda, this is Vata season, air and space. The invitation is reflection, stillness, and trust that emptiness is fertile. Emptiness is not empty. It's preparation for something new to birth and grow. You need that open space in order to fill it with whatever your soul desires. Be a little scared in the moment if you need to, and then trust that something beautiful is about to grow in that space. But you do have to actively create space. Even moving houses, you have to pack everything up, and then you arrive to a new beautiful home, your dream home, but it's empty. And then you start unpacking your boxes, and then it's home. Do that with life right now for December. Start packing up your home, clearing out whatever no longer serves you, and then visualize a new home within yourself, your dream home, your dream friendship with yourself, whatever it might be for you. Whether or not you believe in all this visualization, affirmations, quite frankly, it doesn't matter. It still works. But to be fair, your belief systems do play a huge role. So if you don't believe in certain things, I don't think it'll work the same way. We were cold plunging a few weeks I was with a friend, and she wasn't feeling well, and she said, "Do you think it'll make me sick, or do you think it'll make me feel better?" And I said, well, for me, it would make me feel better. For you, it depends on your belief system. If you think it'll make you sick, it'll probably make you sick. But if you think it'll make you feel better, it'll make you feel better. And she was like, huh. And then she went in and all was well in the world. She felt better. Because she was kind of in the middle of rewiring that old belief system that it would make her feel sick. So your belief systems ultimately do play a role, but it's like gravity. It's still there, right? It's still in action. Even if back in the day people didn't believe in it, like you can still use your mindset and mindfulness as a tool. What's next? You might notice small things triggering grief or nostalgia as you release. That's natural. It's the nervous system recalibrating. Letting go doesn't mean it won't hurt. It means you're strong enough to hold both the ache and the becoming. The becoming has been a huge thing for me. It feels so freeing because it's like, oh yes, it's the becoming. And I know we can all relate to that because in some way, shape, or form, you are becoming the latest and greatest version of yourself. Friendly reminder, you can't rush rebirth. You can't force the next chapter to start. This winter, your only job is to rest, reflect, and remember your worth. Success without peace is still a form of poverty. Ooh. Success without peace is still a form of poverty. My friend, it's been the same friend like the past couple of weeks, all of these little examples that I've given with you because we're so aligned and have the best conversations. And that sweet girl came to visit me in London. We were talking about kind of our vision for next year, and I've still been having the intention of clearing space really for this whole year before next month I kind of go, okay, what do I want to call in again? But what I've learned this past year is the number one thing that I want in life is not something or an achievement. It's simply peace in most moments of my day or night. Because I know even when something's great or I'm achieving something, I still might feel anxious, or like emotions are going to come when it's good or bad or whatever it might be. Say even this past week, my grandmother passed. I'm so open on here. Most of you know and love her dearly. And that was a very interesting experience. But there's a lot of peace around it for her and for me, because I got to spend the summer with her, and peace around everything. Even my boyfriend was like, oh, good thing you didn't get a new job here in London, because then you wouldn't be able to go home and be there for the summer with her, or be there for the funeral. And it was like, yeah, everything works out divinely, exactly how it's meant to. Because I feel so much peace right now, even though I wasn't with her at the end. I just got to spend 2 months with her, by her side, like 8 hours a day. And it's so beautiful. So peace for me is the goal in whatever I'm doing, just trying to maintain peace throughout the whole time. Choose one thing to reflect this week and release. A belief, a habit, or a fear. And one way you'll honor your enoughness could be just a saying, an actual thing that you do. There's no right or wrong, whatever feels right for you. Letting go is not losing, it's returning to truth. The universe harbors a vacuum. When you release what no longer serves you, you make space for miracles. Just like making space for new clothes. It can still feel sad when you're letting go. It's loss. No matter what it is loss. But it's a chapter, right? Like, the chapter's always there. You don't want to stay in that chapter. You want to read the rest of the book, right? You want to not get to the end, but you want to enjoy the journey and experience the story. Know that chapter is still there. It's in the past. It's not gone forever. It doesn't not exist anymore. It's just a part of the story. But it's still tough sometimes to turn a chapter or turn a page. But just know that there's parts of yourself that will always remember whatever it is that you are ultimately wanting to let go of, even if it's difficult. Take this next month. Inhale, exhale. Intentionally take time to reflect. It is work. It really is work to sit down, to open your journal. I have questions. I have annual questions on my website if you want some inspiration for what to ask yourself, monthly reflection questions. This year I haven't been doing it as much. Previous years, like clockwork, I do it every month. This year I really let go of like all of my little to-dos and tasks. I obviously have still been doing, but it isn't as like stressful in a way. It's not like as much of a performance for myself of checklists to do, and simply more being. Next year is the year of the horse. It's winter though. I mean, depending where you are. Work with winter and work with the year of the horse. And numerology number 1. Reflect, go inward for the next 5 weeks. January, it's still winter. So, work with winter, but it's also the year of the horse. So start galloping. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear that they are already enough. You can follow on Instagram, Lilah. for some motivation, mindset, manifestation. And I would love if you could rate it or share feedback, send me messages. I'd love to hear on ways that I can improve. I love you so much. Have the best day ever. Thank you. Bye-bye.